I apologize for being late. One of those crazy days. But I'll tell you this, I had a week which I had no clue that I was going to actually have a conversation about letting things go. But this week it seems like everyone I've interacted with had an issue of some sort, and I couldn't understand it. What's up, Natasha? I could never wrap my mind around it. I've never been one of those people that had difficulties with communicating how I feel and letting things go. I think it's a gift I have of just letting things go. No skin off my back kind of reaction. Do I feel hurt and pain and upset and angry and stuff? Of course I do, but I think I've always been an individual that have been responsible for me, because I knew I had to from a very young age. But interacting with people this week, for me, it has been more sad than ever. It seems like everyone I've spoken to this week, we have had to have conversations of accepting where you are and having the strength to project where you want to go and being determined to get to where you want to go. So let me start off by saying, guys, it's a very serious conversation. Ultimately, it's a very serious conversation. And I want to make sure that we have this foundation to understand that no one is coming to save you. This life is pretty short. I was having a conversation just half an hour ago, and I was remembering things I did 20 years ago. And to know that 20 years have gone, and so it means that there's a probability once my life is spared that I'm going to be 60-something pretty soon, you know? And time is not waiting, you know? It's just really not waiting. See, I'm rubbing my shoulders because I can't do what I could have done at 20 with my shoulder anymore, you know? But in the conversations I've had with people up to this afternoon into this evening, it just have been sad for me, and I felt that I needed to come and do this live. You see how late I posted it because I was in two minds, but I know I have the responsibility of posting it. Guys, if I use my own life, I've seen people very close to me in my family who have had issues with stuff when they were the age of 10. I'm talking about 50-something years ago. Good night, guys. Tamara and Nikisha. Nikisha. I'm talking about 50-something years ago, and as I said in my live during the week, some of the things that we have had to hold on to from people, they're dead and gone, and we're still carrying it. And I said also in the past that women tend to have larger kidneys than men, because it seems as if our maker knew that women tend to hold on to a lot of toxicity much more than men. I've never heard a man say something is complicated. A relationship is complicated. I have never heard it. And I'm getting the point, if I've ever given an opinion based on the research and based on interaction, I'm getting to the point where I feel that as much as it hurts us, especially women, it seems as if they are actually, as if a lot of women kind of, in some twisted way, love the feeling of holding on to stuff while hating it at the same time. I know it sounds crazy, but when I look at the yin and yang and the female's energy that is chaos, I ask myself, why is it happening to the females? And why is it that women all over the globe can't just seem to let things go? It's amazing how many women are carrying around baggage of things that has happened. Guys, in the last 5 relationships I've been in, 4 of them have ended because of baggage that people have been carrying and never let go. And in most cases, I've only heard about those things years after. I've had female members of my family who have told me that they are holding on to something that happened when they were 10, involving their mother, and I didn't get to meet their mother. So I'm talking about the mother they're talking about died before I was born. And they're 60 years old, so for 50-something years, they're carrying something. The mother died, and the sister can't remember that happened. And you're carrying that. So if you're carrying something from the age of 10, understand how many things you're carrying that happen every year, throughout that year, to the age that you are now, 50-something years after. Why are you carrying it? I can't get around it. And I want us to have this conversation. I want us to discuss it. Why are we carrying baggage that is unnecessary? What is the point in holding on to something and just not letting go? No one is telling you to forget. I've been one who have said to you guys, hey, when something happens, this is how you deal with it. You have to go back and face it. I have had girlfriends, guys, at least 2 or 3 relationships where the individuals in question had serious things happen to them. And every time, I remember when I found out in most cases about a year after, 4 or 5 years after. Did you tell someone? Does your parent know? Does your sibling know? No one knows. How are you dealing with it? God, and one of them said, God will, and I have dealt with it. The next one said, you're dealing with it. You're not dealing with it. It does, Tamara, affect your mind and mental health. And I'm happy that you for one of all people who have been in this thing, understands it. But I can't understand why every time I turn somewhere there is a woman that is holding on to insecurities or hurt or baggage that is simply, why are you not dealing with it? And the thing is, I've heard women say time and time again, men don't communicate. So if men are the ones who are not communicating well, then what is causing you women to hold on to baggage or not communicating what has happened to get it resolved to a male or somebody else? It's because you guys are not communicating. And I granted, men don't have time to tell women that you all don't communicate. We're not even going to waste that time. We feel that you all don't. You all feel that you do. We not generally will. You only hear a man say, you're not a good communicator. Women tend to say that. But the facts is showing, whether you like it or not, that women are the ones who seem to not be able to communicate clearly. And I've been listening to some programs on radio, and I've been seeing where people are talking about which women carry stuff for life. Why? If, let's just use one of the worst case scenario, you have lost a loved one or you have been raped. Let's use rape. You as a woman have been raped. We get it. We know how severe it is. We know how detrimental it is. We know how hurtful it is, how painful it is. We get it. But then when you move the emotions away and you ask yourself what actually has physically happened, forgetting the emotions, because you have to be able to be mature enough to move past emotions to deal with issues at times. You can't use emotions as a buffer all the time. What has happened? You have had sex without giving a man approval. You have a choice. You either keep it, which most women do, and end up never being able to marry, never being able to have kids, never being able to enjoy sex, simply because you have not been able to be mature enough and brave enough to go back into that scenario and face the individual. I'm not even talking about meeting the person in real. I'm talking about you have to revisit what has happened. When you ask people what has happened, they tend to think, women, you guys have been all telling me that you have blood it out. Let me tell you guys something, and I want you listening very carefully. You trying to avoid thinking about what has happened is not addressing what has happened. Whether you think you have dealt with it or not, that is subconsciously on your mind running as if it's a record. It's going to age you. It's going to give you reactions and triggers. I dated a girl for 5 years, and on year 4, she saw an ex that she didn't see for the 4 years that we dated. And guys, it's almost as if she saw a ghost because how their relationship ended. Like 4 years after, you are in a new relationship with someone else, and you see this person, and this girl couldn't speak. She could have barely breathed. This girl got white. Like, I'm there like a fool saying, like, what happened? What's going on? And she couldn't even talk. How is it that 4 years after, you have not revisited that scenario with that relationship because this person disappeared, and you have only now been able to deal with it? As the boyfriend at the time, I asked for his number. Not from her, but I got his number. And I called him. And I told him, as a man to man, you were the past, I am the present, but you have a responsibility as a man to explain to that woman why that happened and have that conversation. Because she was not dealing with it, and she wasn't going to deal with it, and she's not addressing it. I did it. I went and asked that guy to call her. He called her right away, and they had that conversation. And I was amazed to see after, she's able to see him and smile and laugh and make fun of him almost now. Simply because you haven't dealt with stuff. Why I had to be the person to go and ask this guy to come and deal with this? What is it that you couldn't just deal with it? You knew how to reach him, pick up the phone, use another number. Just explain to me what happened. Between pride and ignorance and fear, what has stopped you guys from dealing and addressing stuff? I've had a girlfriend, I've had at least, if I had 5 relationships, 3 or 4 of those women had serious issues and things that happened to them, because I don't want to mention what has actually happened, but serious things, and have not dealt with them, and they caused the relationship to end. Out of the 5 or 6, let's say 6 people in my lifetime, in serious relationships, 5 of them had serious issues and things happened to them. And in all 5 scenarios, the relationship ended because of that. Because the relationship now couldn't go forward. Started to have a relationship with someone new just over a year or so ago. Issues unresolved. We couldn't go forward. I had to say, stop, hold up. You were damaged. No, I'm not. No, you're damaged. What is the issue? Guys, let me tell you guys something. If there's a problem, because closure is a feminine thing, it's not masculine. Men could lock off. You think women have scorn? I'm telling you, when a man lock off, you wish you didn't born when he's ready to tell you what he wants to tell you to lock you off. When he's done, and some of you must have experienced, when a man lock off, he locks off. That's it. If that person who has hurt you isn't man enough to tell you sorry, you owe yourself a responsibility to address that matter and forgive that person and forgive yourself and move on. Because the reason I'm saying forgive that person and yourself is because nothing almost ever happens where you are not partially responsible. So we have developed this new term now of victim shaming. So nobody wants to really be man or woman enough to address somebody directly and say, this is what has happened and this is what have been caused based on your lack of doing so and so, so and so. You take this part of responsibility, and then we tell that person as well. We are no longer doing that because we're using victim shaming now. We're using fat shaming now. So you can't tell somebody they're overweight And so all of this is designed just to leave you as you are, damaged. Some of you are insecure, you're overweight, and you're hurt, and it's a deadly combination. And nobody can tell you something because it will be a shaming tactic that will be thrown at the person. The person will be hated for telling you the truth, and those are the people that you need to really tell you the truth, and they can't tell you nothing anymore. Somebody told me last week I'm gaslighting. I said yes. Well, then I am the fireman himself. I want to gas and lit like everybody on fire. I don't determine that I'm in the dictionary, and I must care that somebody thinks I'm gaslighting. I'm going to tell you exactly what's up, and you deal with it. But you will not say that no one told you what's up. If you're fat and overweight, you're overweight. That's the point. You are overweight, go and deal with the issue. I am not going to be one of those people who are going to cover up things and make you feel, know how. You have a responsibility. You're an adult, be mature, and face these issues. I have a problem, and I will never understand it. Why are you guys, you women especially, not dealing with issues, and you're walking around damaged almost from every corner? I have not met a woman, whether in serious dating or otherwise, I have not met a single woman in the last 5 to 10 years that was not damaged in some way. That is crazy, guys. And all over the place, I'm seeing these women who are going into relationships and with men damaged, and they're all divorced. I'm talking about not one made 5 years. I'm seeing people right now who should not have been single, and guys, they are single, and there is no sign of anybody coming. No sign. There is no bird dropping any babies in any diapers or from nowhere, no pelicans, nothing is happening. They're ready to buy a dog or a cat and die alone because they're not resolving problems. And men are not going to deal with you with that. As soon as a man sees that, if you're attractive enough, he's going to sleep with you and walk backwards out of that relationship. They are not going to stay. They don't have to. And I'm bold enough and I'm man enough to tell you guys the truth. Get up and wake up and deal with your issues, because no one is going to deal with them for you. No one is going to. They don't have to. They shouldn't have to care to. This world is not going to ever be delicate. It's designed. It is designed. It is designed to make you stronger. And you only have 3 options. Good night. You only have 3 options. You can get your ass stronger. You can remain right where you are, single, and buy a dog or a cat, a turtle or something and die. Or you can give up. That's the only 3 things you can do. But no one is coming to save you. I can never understand why you're not dealing with issues. I have to threaten a friend of mine just recently to go and make sure she tells her family members what is going on with her, and I give her until this weekend. Otherwise, I am going to call her family members and tell them, and I'm telling you this, 2 things. I don't care if that individual doesn't speak to me again, because I know I can die knowing I did the right thing. You can't deal with it alone. You're not dealing with it. How did you deal with it? You're looking at me as if you're some days you're not dealing with it. I'm going to deal with it then. Because sometimes, and this is why I'm going to do a video, a live soon or a video soon on close friends, best friends, and confidence. Because we have to understand that who we think are best friends aren't our best friends. They're close friends. And we have these terminologies mixed up. If I don't talk to her again, or she doesn't talk to me again, she could tell someone I was her best friend. Because the people who really care about you will risk it all to go and make sure they do something for your best interest, even though it risks the friendship. They will not sit in jail with you. They will not be sitting in jail with you going on drink and drive hard and fast when they know it's wrong. That's not best friends. That's close friends. And I'm very serious. I'm going to make that call tomorrow. You didn't tell them? I will. Because I've experienced 2 relationships where those people didn't tell their families or siblings either. They didn't. And it has caused them relationship after relationship after, and years are going. You women don't have no time, any time to waste. You don't. And I'm not seeing her looking at videos anymore. I have not been in contact. She's not interacting with me anymore. I don't care. And if she's on tonight or sees this video, I don't care. I'm going to deal with these issues. And I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to sit down and say, well, to each his own, or as long as they're happy. Nonsense. The right thing is the right thing. I'm going to open my can of worms. Go and tell them, you know. Go and tell them what happened to you. And it wasn't any private conversation where I did any counseling or whatever like that. I found out and I approached the individual. Is this true? Yes. Then I'm going to you have dealt with it how? Then you're going to deal with it. Because you're not dealing with it. I'm a friend. It's not a session. I'm a friend. And for people who are close to me, I'm going to do that. Guys, I don't care what has happened to you. You can overcome it. You're built for that. This thing about walking around as if somebody has to feel sorry for you and don't victim shame me and whatever is nonsense. Deal with your issues. I have friends who are on medication, who have been gaining a certain weight, who are unhealthy. I have a friend who recently called me early morning when I'm exercising, guys. I'm up every morning religiously. As I fall off my bed, I'm doing push-ups after saying my prayer. 100 push-ups every single morning. And then followed by a 30-minute walk with pace. And while I'm doing this, you're calling me to tell me about your health. And I've been hearing that for 6, 7, 8 months. And now it's a point where in your early 30s, doctors are telling you about your cholesterol and stuff. And you vex with me because your job, your responses after we finish talking is not that I was wrong. Not that I was wrong. That I didn't have to go so hard on you and be so raw with you. Because it took a lot out of her to tell me what she told me. You understand? And I had to understand that she took a lot out of her and she's hurt because I abused her. How much more months was I supposed to hear you say the same thing to me when I tell you the answers already? And every time you call me, tell me the same thing. Now it's your health in question. And I must what? Do what? What I must do? So she no longer talks to me. Not because I was wrong. Not because what I was saying was incorrect. Because I told her the truth too harsh. I should have put some peanut butter and jelly on it and then serve it to her. And she would have been okay with it. So it's not that I was wrong. Tomorrow, it's always going to be a risk. But people who want to change, who are real change agents, who really want to do stuff that matters, they're the ones that it's always going to be a risk. And they're the ones that are willing to risk it all for the benefit of someone else. And even as I do this video right now, I know that some people disagree. And that is okay. I'm totally okay with it. But I'm doing this video because I want if there is one person out there to know that, hey, you can wake up no matter what has happened to you. And you can decide to make a change. There are always going to be people to hurt you. Guys, the people who have hurt me the most in my lifetime have been closest family members. Well, cannot not do something? Well, simplicity, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, she hasn't done anything about it yet. I've seen recent images. and you're looking for a new husband or new man, and you're getting older every single day that the sun rises, and you're not doing anything. So I am telling you, she expects that pelican or some seagull or something is going to drop a baby on her lap like what happened with Dumbo. Or maybe she's going to write a letter like what you see in those cartoons, and God is going to, or Santa Claus probably for Christmas going to send that man. That's what it can't have any other answer. That just simply must be the answer. Somebody's going to gift her with a man, because it's amazing to me that people are willing to do the exact same thing and expect different results. The exact same thing, and you can't tell people about themselves. There are people I know who love to tell you about you, but they can't stand you telling them. There are some people I know as well, I have decided to not tell them anything. Guys, listen, I am only going to do videos, and if one person look at them, fine. I'm no longer going to tell people anything, because no matter where I go, when they say something to people, they know the first thing they do, because of their insecurities, they don't want to admit that they didn't know. And what you're saying is right. They are hurt because you told them, he feels he knows it all. I just know a lot. Could it be that I just know a lot? I haven't had experiences where people have been able to say to me, you're wrong, numerous times. I have never indulged in a conversation that I knew nothing about. Have you ever seen me, for instance, have any debate with anybody about this coronavirus and vaccine or whatever? Have you seen that? I have my own position on it. But have you seen me be like people? Because no matter how much information I have on it, and I do have a lot, I don't have enough. I don't have enough to make an assessment and say anything about it. So I prefer not to say something about it. But there are people outside there who just love to speak because they feel that their opinion should matter. You could have an opinion, but it doesn't mean that you have to open your mouth and let come out. People lose their lives on a daily basis for for feeling like you can open your mouth and say what you have to say. You don't. You can have it. You have your right not to speak it because you feel that that's your opinion. I must have an opinion on Dexter Jackson's wife, who I never had a conversation with, never saw in real. I don't have an opinion. I have an opinion on the situation where I can have a conversation about what I saw during the video. But I can't have a conversation about the woman. Can't have that conversation. I don't know her. I haven't seen her have a 5-minute meeting with her, and I must make an assessment and state my views on her. Can't do that. I can't do that. Not going to do it. I'm just being frank with you guys. If there's something that is wrong, if you're overweight, close your mouth, close your fridge, close your refrigerator and turn off your stove, drink some green tea, go on a 3-day. Listen, I have a friend whose mother have cancer, recently found out, and diabetes. And I said to this lady, first thing I asked, what research have you done on it? Well, the doctor said, so I didn't ask what the doctor said. I asked you, what research did you do on it? It's all over YouTube. You can get a lot. Well, there's so much wrong information on YouTube. I said true. But what about how much right information there is also? No response. 6 months after. So how the treatment going? What research you have done? I mean, did you go and do any research about what it to do with YouTube? Your mother wouldn't do it because she's old. You don't generally go on YouTube at that age. Have you done it? No. She's doing chemo. Do you know that only 2% of people life is actually saved because of chemo? And it's still not even traced that chemo is the reason why their lives were saved, because the body is always in a healing state? Really? No? Okay. Cool. So, which member of my family have cancer? I don't know. None. Why do I know this? Why do you know it? Because I want to. You're supposed to know stuff about what's going on with you, and especially if somebody have it. But I'm the same guy that people would have a problem with because I'm saying something because I know it. Not the fact that this man spends hours on a daily basis. I'm in a gym, I'm doing exercises, I'm walking around a park, and I have a headphone on my ears. You will never, ever hear me listening to Marshall Montano or Voice while I'm doing something on a headphone. You can test it any day. And you come and see, guys, take the headphone off my ears without asking me. I would have no issue. Tell me what you're going to do, and I will show you. Listen to what playing. It's either a book, a podcast, information from YouTube. I am always learning and gathering information. What is the reason you can't do it? Guys, nobody's coming to save you. You have to be able to unlearn what you have learned and relearn. It's the only way. You have to be willing to do it. This pity party that people want all over the place, I'm talking to people and everybody wants to have some pity party. It's not going to help you. Because no one is coming to save you. That's not what it's about. Your job is not to try and hope that you get a break. And I know, years ago, have been in places where I just keep saying, I want a break. And when I realize, hold up, none is coming, I said, okay, I'm going to deal with stuff. I came and do a live here, and I will never forget it. And only one or two people actually know this. I came here at night and do a live talking to you guys just an hour after hearing my father died. How many of you knew that? Did you see any sign of anything that showed it was short? I wasn't. What indicator did you get that you knew that my father, and if you know men, you know how serious that is, died? I knew he died. I have a responsibility to come and talk because you are expected. Even if one person comes on, it's expected. I did it. I came. I sat. I had one of the best interactions I've ever had with you guys in talking and alive. And none of you saw that. I'm not saying everybody's supposed to be like that. But I was able to understand that he's dead. I was able to understand that you are alive. I'm able to understand that death happens. I'm able to understand that more people that I know that are close to me are also going to die. And I had to deal with it just like that. And every now and then, I ask myself, hey, are you sure you're okay? And you're not being bothered by this in some little strange way? You always have to ask yourself, because you can fool yourself. And every time I ask myself, and I try to search for some feeling that I'm supposed to feel, there is none. I have had to do interaction within myself to understand, hey, hold on, I continuously try to find baggage inside of me and clear it out, because what is the point in me having baggage and not letting it go? What is the benefit of not letting it go? Keeping it and helping. It's getting me older. It's going to age me. It's going to get me sick. Because I'll tell you something else. There's no one with a disease. No one with a disease alive that is not carrying baggage. If you have no issue within, you will not have any without. Do you understand? If your mind is not troubled by something, your body cannot get sick. Disease is based on your brain and the issues you are carrying around in your brain. and it shows up as disease. If you want to understand your body is in a healing state. And if you, okay, let me give you an example. If you don't eat for 7 to 10 days, whatever sickness you feel you're going through, no matter what it was, you just drink some green tea or lots of water, you will be surprised of how healthy your immune system starts to act, and the sickness that you thought you had, all the diabetes, and see what happens with your pancreas, how it starts to heal. Because you can go for 40 days without eating. Go and try it and you'll see. So if that happens to the body, it happens to the body on the basis that the mind, this is why it's always good to eat green, leafy foods or vegetables, opposed to meat. Meat is already decaying. When food has its color in it, it still has life. And so when you put life into your body sees it as life, easy to digest, and it keeps you younger because your body don't have to work as hard as it would have to turn over something that is rotting and decaying in it. So decaying food brings death, because it's like you're putting death in your body opposed to life in your body. And so something simple as that, by eating a particular way, could also be a problem. That could be a baggage, because some of you can't have diabetes today, not because it's hereditary. You have it because you're eating the same food your parents ate for your body type, which is not appropriate. There's a lot that's going on, and we're just walking around like dummies and sheep without being able to assess and to think and wake up and look at life. You just think somebody's supposed to come and save me, man. It can't be. My mother don't like me. My father died. I lose my job. No matter what it is, we just believe that the only sense it makes is that somebody coming to save you. Because if nobody is coming to save you, then what is stopping you from actually be manning up and facing the problem? What could it be? I have a friend who gained 70 pounds. Insecure as hell. And she's saying it's because the husband has to understand that she made a baby. I have friends who was pregnant and only put on the additional weight for the baby that they were having. So the baby came out at 11 pounds. When that baby was born, next week they were weighing the exact same weight that they were weighing before they got pregnant. By the way, they never stopped exercising throughout the pregnancy. So when you compare that to this person who put on 70 pounds, 70 pounds, right? A half of a human being average, she put on. So you know about 240 pounds. And he must love you still. You're not willing to lose the weight. Help me to understand somebody. Say something, because I just know that this video is a necessity tonight. Because every woman I know, not men, not men, guys. It's amazing to me that men, when something goes wrong, don't have the congregation like women do. Not only do women talk twice as much as men, right? Not only that you all speak twice as much words as men. Something like about 88,000 a day, and we are about 44,000 a day. But when there's a problem between calling on the phone and having groups and girls' night and whatever, when a man has a problem, he doesn't do that. He talks to maybe 1 or 2 male friends. But there's a strange indicator that I am seeing that men are not carrying around baggage like women do. Every single woman I know is carrying around some baggage. And if I sit down and I ask them why, by the time the third why comes, they get frustrated and I'm the bad one. Why are you feeling down? Because, okay, but why? Why are you feeling that way? Because so and so. Okay, but why are you allowing so and so to make you feel that way? Annoyed start. They start to get annoyed. I am the one doing something wrong by asking those questions. And I'm just asking you why. There isn't a woman alive with baggage that is able to answer that why 7 times consecutively. It's not going to happen. It's a scientific fact. It has been proven in investigation. You will not get to the 8 why. 7 whys is all you need to get to the bottom, the max I should say, to get to the bottom of an answer. 7. No one has been able to go 8. And in every case, they could not answer. What is the reason that why have you not been able to deal with it? Because, whatever the reason is. Okay, but why did that stop you? Because, okay, so why didn't you just take control? Because somebody made me feel like, but why are you allowing people to make you feel a particular way when they have no control over you except you have control over you? Nothing comes out. All I'm asking is that you guys do an assessment and understand that no one is coming to save you. You can either get stronger, grow, and pull yourself out. I do it all the time. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it takes a lot of awareness. But spend some time, guys, understanding who you are. I say it all the time. And when you understand who you are, you know what you are not. And if you know what you're not, you know what you need. And if you know what you need, you know what you don't need. And if you don't need something in your life because you know what you need, then please, I'm asking you to deal with what you don't want in your life and move on. And I'm not telling you to forget it. I'm not telling you that it's not supposed to make you feel a particular way, because somewhere, somehow, people are of the view that in order to deal with something, that you have to put it away or overcome it. That's not the truth. For instance, courage is not overcoming fear. It's being able to know fear is there and make a decision to face fear. That is courage. And I'm being very, very clear, and I want to make it sure that you understand. You do not have to see someone, let's just say someone have abused you. It doesn't mean that you have to be in that person's space or see them ever again. That's not it. It must be that you must be able to have gone back and deal with it. And when you do see the person again, you may get a jolt. You may be jolted. But when the jolt happens, you must be able to look at the person without any animosity, without any anger, and move on. And understand that that person, one, was not 100% to blame. Your ignorance is partially to blame. Alright? Your ignorance. Nobody was supposed to have told you were supposed to do your own self-assessment. Don't blame anybody. Take responsibility for the ignorance that you displayed. And when you see that person, even though it hurts you, you must be able to be in your space, in your zone, and be comfortable. It happened. And if you ever happen to come to the individual, you must be able to watch that person in the eye, because you have done it, you went back into that situation and you have dealt with it a number of times, and you must be able to look at that person in the eyes and say, you will never, ever get me to be affected, annoyed, or hurt in any way like you did once. I can't wait for you to even try it again, because this person does not have power over you. This is why people get bullied. People don't get bullied. People allow themselves to get bullied. That's the truth. Because if a bully is interacting with you and he knows that he's not getting under your skin, he's going to stop. That's just what happens. I'm asking you to take control of your life and take control of your situation. Okay? It's your life. It's your space. It's your zone. You are in control by God's grace. No one can take that from you, and no one can make you feel any way. Deal with these issues. Go back. This person died. Good. Didn't come here to turn stone. Someday you will too. Alright. I have lost my job. Okay. Do I want to open a new business or find a new job? Okay. Then I'm going to do this way then. And you move on. You feeling sorry that you have nothing to eat? Guys, I've had millions, and I've also been in scenarios where I didn't have $20. I don't know if you can fathom the extremities of both situations. And I will tell you something today. Having money is one thing. But if I didn't go through not having money, I would not have been able to be the caliber of man that I am today, that sits in front of you and can bear it all. Most people will tell you that I was not this guy all the time. I just simply wasn't this guy. It's because I lost a lot is what have allowed me to gain a lot of depth as an individual. I have a problem, and I'm working on getting into Laventille and places that needs to hear someone say what I'm saying, because people's mind needs to be unlocked. It just has to be, it's locked. When you are born in poverty or without, you are actually born with an advantage over another person. You understand? Let me give you guys an example, because you live here. So let me give you something that happens in Trinidad, because I know people outside of Trinidad look at this video as well. But in Trinidad, there is a Beetham, a place where there's a dump. It's very easy for the authorities here to move it. But if they move it, people who are worth millions or hundreds of millions are going to lose a significant amount of money. Why? Because if you bring a dump in the city and you bring it close to people who are actually strong, and if you go back and you do the research of the people that I'm talking about now, you realize that they are the ones who have built the capital or built the country for what it is. Their ancestors are the ones who came and they were put there temporarily, and they realized that it was in their best interest to not move them from there. And so to keep them there and keep them in that mindset, you present them with a dump. And so you see these people crossing the road every day to go to this dump. when you have people whose lives depend exactly. When you have people whose life depends on a dump, they can't see a palace. If that dump moves from there, it's the equivalent of giving a vagrant or a homeless man 5 books to read, because I am confident that I can give any sane homeless man or woman just 3 books to read, and they will no longer be homeless. I'm convinced of that. It's something I'm going to do in the future as well. That is what happens there, guys. I'm painting a picture of showing you what you are doing to yourself by keeping trash in your system and not cleaning it out. Because your body operates on energy and vibration. And as long as you are holding trash and negative energy by this happened to me and that happened to me and I'm feeling this way and this one don't like me and I'm insecure about that, it's the only energy that your body is going to hold. It's going to bring disease and negative energy in relationships, spiritually, and everything in life. This is why scripture tells you don't worry. But you guys are insisting on holding on to baggage and worrying. And every time I ask somebody, what is the benefit of worrying? How does it help? No one answers. No one has ever been able to answer. So then why are you worrying? How often have your worry solved your problems in the past? How often have you had controls of the things that you were worried about and they have been solved because you worry? No one has ever answered and been able to tell me 1 or 2 times. So just like the dump, where those people understand that they built our city. It was once St. Joseph that we know it now. I'm sure somebody now knows for the first time. St. Joseph was the city, and it's now Port of Spain, which should be changed because it's not the Port of Spain. Right? I'm showing you a lot of things that we're doing wrong, you know. Good? And so, as long as the dump is there, these people will not be able to understand that there is an alternative source of income. There is not one person who would not feel comfortable, or I shouldn't say comfortable, who would not prefer to be coming from Port of Spain and at the side of that highway have car washes, mechanic shops, alignment centers, a pub, barber shop. You just list it. It's the ideal thing. That is what we would want to have in a life, on a country like what we have, one island like what we have. But they aren't thinking. And even if one was to open tomorrow, because the dump is there, people are going to be afraid to do it. The gas station in that area suffers, and so does the Vemco wash center suffers because of that dump is being there and what the people around that area does. And that, my friends, is what society has done to you guys by saying, you have to take this vaccine. You can't tell somebody they're overweight, the fact. You have to say overweight, and you can't blame somebody for this because it's victim shaming and victim blaming and body shaming. It's designed to keep you where you are. A child who is born in abject poverty has a better chance of success than a child who is born in wealth. Let me make it very simple for you. Children who are born in wealth are fools. They make decisions because it was handed to them, but they are not thinkers. There's a statement, show me a man, a great man, who's the son of a great man. Show me a great man or woman who's the son of a great man or woman. And what that means is, when you are born with the ability to drive a Porsche, your first vehicle, etc., 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 means that you are not able to think. I have a huge business, for some of you who don't know. Huge, huge business. And when I look back at my business and my footprints, I've seen 3 times when I was almost close to getting huge investment. And every time it didn't happen. And the things that me and my team have been able to do with little funds, for me, we could not have done it if we got those big investments. In other words, our business model is designed to really impact people. It wouldn't have been if we had the money, we wouldn't have been able to go through some teething issues. And there's a high probability based on what I've seen, because a very great friend of mine and her friend have shown me a cash flow statement that we didn't even have a clue. I'm sure that there is no cash flow statement like that in the country or the Caribbean. That sounds weird, I know, but it's really crazy. And when I look at that cash flow, I realize, wow, if we had gotten the money we expected, we'd have spent it like fools and the business would have bust. Sometimes in life, you go through what you go through because God has wisdom. You would never have a child that can't handle money well and give it $100 and say, go ahead and save that. You've never taught that child financial. You wouldn't do it as a parent. Why would anybody or any being superior to you do it? There are people who have children who are wealthy, who have never been able to make a kite, have never been able to understand what it is to make a chow, didn't play marble pitch, have no or little street sense, or what we call common sense. Plenty book. And the people who are the wealthiest in this world right now are not the people who have gone through the universities or highly educated, or the children of great wealthy men or women. It's the people. Go and look at Oprah. Go and look at Michael Jordan. Go and look at LeBron James, Kanye West. I mean, I can just call names and call names. Go and look at Jeff Bezos. Go and look at every one of those wealthy people and see which one of them came from families that have great wealth. And we cry and we worry and we stuff. You are being tested because you are supposed to be more. Go and face yourself. Learn yourself. And make a decision to overcome by simply not giving up. It's what I did. Guys, the minute I made a decision, come hell or high water, no matter what happens to me, I am not giving up. I've never gone without food since. I've never spent a night without power. My business is still operating at a higher efficiency rate and success level now than it has ever. I've gotten more done by people who cared for free and have supported me than I have done spending millions behind this brand. And all I did is not give up. You can do the same. Go and deal with your issues. Face them one by one. And get to the point of where when things happen to you, you can see they're happening to make you better and you smile. And what you say to yourself when it happens is good stuff. I'm getting stronger. Oh, I have one more opportunity to go a step higher because God isn't done refining me yet. And go and face it. It's almost as if when you see issues and you go and you face problems and these challenges or things happen to you, it's not to make you feel bad. It's not to make you feel sad. It's not to make you feel broken. It's for you to take that and use it to propel you. Some of you have a responsibility, like I do, to speak on things that you have gone through that could have broken you, to help others. But instead you are using them to harness some pity party. If you don't face your fears and your issues, you're going to lose it all. Alright? Face your fears. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Simplicity. When things happen, you're raped, you lose a hand. Guys, there are people in this world without hands and without feet who have a bigger following and are better speakers than I am. You understand? They are better speakers than I am. Okay, you lose a hand or a foot. It's not stopping those people who don't have hands and feet, who have never been able to bathe themselves, feed themselves, clean themselves. Go and look at their personality. Do you think they don't have issues? What's worse than that? No hands, no feet. Go and look at Nick. Go and I have a friend who's in Laventille right now, who's in a bed. I take care of her as best I can. Sometimes she listens right here. She's on that bed for 27 or 28 years now. And I kid you not, she calls me. Sometimes. It doesn't happen in recent times because I understand it now. But she used to call me up to about 2 years ago to cheer me up. It could not have gotten more crazy than that. It's true simplicity. How could a person bedridden for 27 years call me to cheer me up, guys? And when that happened, I said, are you kidding me, Rennie? Nah. I got up. And that was it for me. So I'm asking you guys to stop this pity party. If someone you know that needs to hear this video, send it to them. If I've never asked you to do that, I'm telling you. I'm tired of meeting people who have these issues and no one told them that they can overcome it. And I'm telling you, you're built to last. Your body is a constant process of healing. And you are also in a constant process of evolving. Do not stop your evolution. Okay? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Please share this video. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.